This is Kim, also known as the Spiritual Mom 36 on YouTube. Welcome to my next video. I want to talk to you a little bit about meditation and visions and messages that you might receive while you're meditating. Or sometimes you get these messages and visions in your dreams as well. But today I'm primarily focusing on meditation. When you meditate, you will often see different visions. You will have little video clips fly by, and you wonder, what are those? Who are those people I'm seeing? Or you might hear your name being called, or you might receive little messages. You might have a vision of a person that you know, or you might see a vision of something that could possibly be a premonition or some kind of message to you. Now, some of these visions are coming from your higher self. Now, your higher self is another part of you. It's the part of you that is beyond the ego. And so you may hear and see things that are coming to you from your higher self. Now, these are wonderful messages and visions to have because they really pertain to you and your life and how you can make your life better. And so I really love having these type of images and visions and messages coming to me. You may also receive messages or visions from spirits or entities. Oftentimes I'll see a little video clip or I'll hear something like, one time I heard, "We'll see you in Arizona." Okay. So I'm like, what's in Arizona? Why do I need to know about Arizona? And so sometimes these are just spirits and entities or angels talking to you, and you may not know what they mean. They may not have anything to do with you. It could be a spirit or entity just trying to communicate with you, but it may not necessarily pertain to you or make any sense. I always write them down, and I hope that one day that those messages and visions will make sense, but a lot of times they don't. For me, the ones that make sense are the ones that I know are coming from my higher self. So be prepared to have some whispering in your ear or seeing things that you're not quite sure what they mean. And like I said, you can try to figure out what they mean. You could talk to other people. Sometimes you never know. You could talk to somebody and maybe you had a vision of something related to a friend or a loved one or a family member. So definitely write them down because sometimes they do pan out and they're very interesting. And I've had some stories to share with visions that have actually made sense to me and were messages that were important for me to follow through on. So what do these images and visions and stuff mean? You know, why do you get them? Like I said, they could be images and visions from spirits and entities that really aren't going to help you in your spiritual development or your life. Then again, they could be. You could also be seeing visions or receiving messages regarding past lives or other lives. You know, sometimes I'll see myself dressed in a certain type of clothing. One time I was waiting by a train and it was a very old train. So sometimes these are past lives that you're actually seeing. Or you might hear things that are related to past lives as well. So these are really, really cool experiences to have. And I look forward to having those when I meditate as well. You have to also remember that a lot of the images and things that we see and hear are very symbolic. They may not necessarily be so straightforward. So you have to remember that they're very symbolic. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm going to give you some stories that I can share with you regarding some of my meditation and some of the visions I've had. And I've had a lot over the past year and a half, but I'm only going to share a few. For example, one time I was meditating and I saw a blue Chevy, a blue 1950 Chevy. Now, first of all, I know nothing about cars and I never remember cars. I can never identify cars. But for some reason I knew this was a 1950 Chevy and I just knew it. And now in my regular life, if I was to see a 1950 Chevy, I would not know what it was. But while I was meditating, I knew exactly what it was. Only later to find that a really good friend of mine when he was growing up, his father drove a 1950 blue Chevy. And it was kind of like a message that I was supposed to give to my friend to say, hey, your dad's still here. Your dad is still around. So it was a wonderful experience to be able to share with this friend that I saw this image and that it was from his dad. And it wasn't a message for me, it was a message to give to my friend. Another time, this was recently actually, I heard the word feather. Somebody whispered in my ear, feather. Okay. Only to find a couple weeks later that a friend of mine was also doing meditation and was wishing for me to be able to fly, not literally fly, but to be free, to find my inner self and fly and be free. And so my friend had thought of feathers and flying. And so this was what that meant to me when I went back and I remembered I heard that word feather, that this is what it meant to me, to be free and fly like a bird. So another interesting story. I've also, and I just want to share, I didn't share this in the first video about meditation, I've also had experiences where I've been kissed on the cheek, I've been poked, or I've had my hair being stroked, lots of different sounds and voices. And for me, all of them were pleasant experiences. I was never scared. And there was another time I was meditating where I was having trouble relaxing. I kept swallowing. I couldn't relax because I kept swallowing. And every time I would swallow, I would wake up from my meditation. I could not get into that meditative state. And so I asked my higher self, I said, higher self, can you please help me to stop swallowing so much so that I can meditate? And I felt a very strong pressure on my throat. I could physically feel the pressure on my throat. Again, this wasn't scary to me because I know that I had asked myself to help myself to meditate, and so I know that's where it was coming from. But most recently, just a few days ago actually, I had an incredible vision that completely panned out. And it was with a friend that I found on YouTube in Kelly Coffey's group, Kelly in the Raw, and it was a friend. His name is Aiden. He said that I can say his name. And I was meditating one day and I saw this image of Aiden. Now, I hadn't spoken much with Aiden on Facebook. I don't think we've corresponded at all. I wasn't really reading many of his posts. If he was posting at that time, I wasn't really aware of it. So for me to see his face was really fascinating to me. And not only did I see his face in my vision, I also heard his name, and I saw his name in writing. So I knew exactly who it was. And within that message, I heard something to the lines of, did you watch my video? I'm like, okay. So I heard Aiden say to me, did you watch my video? And then I had a knowing. He didn't say it, but I had a knowing that it had something to do with Doris Day, the actress. So I didn't know what that was about. So I took a leap of faith. And I contacted Aiden, and I told him about this vision I had. Well, he couldn't relate to Doris Day, but there was a lot of synchronicities within this message, and there was a reason why I had the message, or the vision, and there was a reason why I was meant to contact him. One, Aiden is an actor, and he enjoys acting. And you're very talented, Aiden. Just want to let you know, never give up. And I also, my love was acting. When I was in high school, I did all the high school shows, I did shows in college, I did community theater, and it was always my love, my passion in life. So to find that this young boy was also interested, I shouldn't say boy, I'm sorry, high school, Aiden's in high school, to find out that he also has this passion for theater, I found amazing. What a coincidence. And that must have been why I heard the thing about Doris Day and being an actress. I also found out that he was having some confidence issues, that he wasn't feeling so confident about his abilities. And so I went through the same thing when I was in high school. I was doing a show called The Fantastics at the time, and it was a very, very challenging vocal for me, playing the role of Louisa, the girl. And I was really struggling hitting some of those high notes, and I kept saying, I can't, I can't, I can't. And my drama teacher at the time, a wonderful man who's been a mentor to me all my life, not just a teacher, but also a mentor and a friend, he told me, Kim can. Kim can. And he gave me a keychain that's engraved. It says Kim Can on it. I still have it to this day. And it's something that I live by every day. So my message to Aiden, and I told him this story about how I was struggling in this show, was Aiden can. Because he was feeling lack of confidence, I was able to share my story and tell him that he can, and give him the confidence and faith to be able to go forth and pursue his dream. So Aiden, I don't want you to give up on your dream, because you can do whatever it is you set your mind to. So that is the story behind seeing a vision and it having purpose. The purpose was for me to contact Aiden, tell him I had this vision of him, which led us to discussion about acting and having faith in ourselves, and not giving up on our dreams. And so I believe strongly in that vision, and that's just one example of how your visions can really pan out and how they might be able to help somebody someday. You never know how it's going to work out. So that's my story of having a vision, and I've had many other ones too as well that are very fascinating, and I'll have to look back in my notes and see if I can find anything to share with you. This was just a recent one that was really interesting. Also, I should mention the conversation I was having with Aiden also led for him to show me one of his videos that he made. Because remember, the original message was, did you watch my video? Well, I didn't know Aiden made videos on YouTube. So he shared with me a link to watch one of his videos on YouTube, and I'll put that link in my in the message box below. And so I watched the video, and the video was all about opening the heart chakras, that something was going on with our heart chakras. I was like, wow, because this is something that I've been experiencing the past few weeks, and I wasn't sure really what was going on, but to hear him say it, to know that other people were feeling it, was a confirmation for me that yes, this was really happening. So we had a message for each other. Not only that, yeah, it goes on, Aiden shared with me a video of him with his singing, and he was singing in Hebrew. I don't understand Hebrew, but I listened to the music, I listened to his singing, which was lovely, by the way, and I absolutely loved the song, and I felt connected to the song without ever knowing what the words were. I had no idea what he was singing. He told me what it was about, and I also was able to look up the lyrics later to find out what the song was about. It was about flying, about being free. I believe the word feather was also mentioned in that song. So here we go with the feather and the flying again. So I felt very connected to this song even without hearing the words. And once reading the words and knowing what it meant, again, a connection, a synchronicity. So through your meditations, you know, keep mind of the visions that you have and the things that you hear. Also, one other one that I had, and I'm going to share this in another video as well. I did have a vision one time. Last summer I had a lot of headaches. And I had a vision one time of a purple lotus flower. And I didn't even know what a purple lotus flower was. My vision was just a flower. It was purple and white, and it was opening. So I looked it up later to find out what it was. But I had this vision of this flower, so when I was meditating, I decided to envision that purple flower. And I envisioned that flower opening and on my crown chakra. And it was a beautiful feeling. It was all tingly, it didn't hurt, and so I did this, and my headaches went away. So I saw that vision of that purple flower for a reason, so that I would open up my crown chakra, let out whatever energy was inside of me that was causing my headaches. So that's just another example on how your visions can really help you in your day-to-day life, and they can help other people as well. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you got something out of this. pay attention to what's going on around you. I'm going to do another video about synchronicities as well, because what happened between Aiden and I was also synchronicity. It was a message that led to us having a conversation, which led to a series of synchronicities, which led to us helping each other understand something that was going on currently in our lives right now. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!